Hello crafters, this is Yana Smakula. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm creating birthday cards with some new products from Spellbinders and Carissa Wiley. Spellbinders has teamed up with Carissa to bring us a new influencer collection called It's My Party, and it is all about creating those party cards for different occasions. This is a collection of hot foil plates, coordinating dies, and stencils, and it is designed to help you make party cards in no time. There are several products in this release, and if you want it all, you can get a special bundle and save. By the way, Spellbinders has a new promotion running this week. You can get $25 off orders of $125 or more. So if you want to get this collection and save, you can get the bundle, add a few other plates, and I'll talk about that in a minute, and you'll be able to save plus get free shipping if you're shopping for the next few days on the Spellbinders US website. And there's also a similar promotion running on the Spellbinders UK website. I have details for everything in my video description below. There's also a supportive collection from Spellbinders called It's My Party 2, and it features 2 large embossing folders for us to play with, along with 4 different hot foil plate sentiments for birthdays. I never have enough birthday cards, of course, or Christmas cards, but I'll talk about the Christmas cards next month. Hint, hint. I actually have a new collection coming with Spellbinders, but not today. I'm not talking about that. So of course I was excited to dig into these products and create birthday cards to add a couple more birthday cards to my stash. Carissa has tons of inspiration on her blog and social media, showing you how you can use her products and all sorts of things you can create using her collection. I wanted to do something completely different. I wanted to show you how you can combine these with some floral dies that you might already have in your stash to create birthday cards. I have several ideas. I have a window card, a shaker card, and a faux window card for you in this video. Now, I wanted to use Carissa's Big Birthday Balloon Glimmer Hot Foil Plate as the focal point for my cards, and I knew I wanted to span a foiled sentiment across that balloon. Now, in order to do that, I knew that I would need to use heat-resistant acetate. So I used my Spellbinders Glimmer Specialty Clear Film to foil my sentiment. If you're not familiar with this product, it is basically heat-resistant acetate designed specifically to be used with heat, meaning you can heat emboss on it or you can hot foil on it. You can work on it as you would on any other material that you want to foil on. Now, this comes in letter size sheets, and there are 10 sheets in a pack. I have already cut this down to a more manageable size, and this is just a touch larger than the balloon hot foil plate that I will be using. Here, I also have a backer sheet. Now, it is just there to help separate the sheets, I suppose. I really don't know why it is there, but it is there. And in this particular instance, that backer sheet helps to show the product on camera because it is clear, and the backer provides, a backer so that we can see it. Now, I'm using one of the Glimmer sentiments. I love all of these sentiments. They are very bold and big, and I definitely see myself using them again in the future. They aren't as versatile as the mini sentiments, of course, the mini strip sentiments, but they are very cool, and the size makes them very practical. I taped one of the sentiments using yellow tape, and I'm going to do my hinge method here to add white opaque foil. I'll foil all of these in white foil today just because I want to do something different. I typically do shades of gold, but I wanted to do white for a change. While my Glimmer hot foil system is heating up, I'm also going to prep some other pieces for my card. I have a panel of cardstock. This is Spellbinders Teal Topaz, and I'm going to position the Glimmer plate from Carissa's Giant Party Balloon set and tape it in the center of my panel. Now, I also want to foil this in white foil, and I will cut an opening out, and I will add that foil sentiment floating in that opening. Now, I'm also going to foil a little bow. I love this cute little bow in Carissa's collection. It comes in a different glimmer plate set. So it comes from the Party Balloons bouquet. And I'm foiling this in a very pretty soft teal color foil. This is from the Glimmer Hot Foil Rolls variety pack, and it is quickly becoming one of my favorite foil colors aside from gold. Now, with everything prepped and my glimmer ready, I'm going to start foiling. I'm adding a cardstock shim to the acetate sheet, as this acetate is pretty much thinner compared to regular cardstock, so adding a shim is a good idea. And here's a look at the foiled result. It is almost perfect. Now, I do have one unfoiled spot there, but I'm not going to worry about it. I know that this is probably the best result that I can get on acetate. I don't really know why. I do get perfect results on paper, but on acetate, no matter what I do, I always end up having one tiny unfoiled dot on my acetate, but that's fine. It doesn't bother me. I know this is going to go over a busy background, so it's not going to be very noticeable, and besides, if it does bother you, you can use a white pen if you use a white foil. So use a white pen and maybe dot a little bit of white ink over there, or, you can put an embellishment over it to cover it up. And by the way, did you note how flat this acetate is? It did not warp one bit. It is absolutely flat. I love it. It keeps its shape perfectly. So I highly recommend this acetate if you want to foil something on clear acetate, maybe for a shaker or a window card for your project. I foiled the rest of the images. Here is that super cute little bow. Isn't it adorable? I can definitely see myself using it in combination with other products in my stash, maybe with some flowers. It is just the cutest little bow ever. And here's that foiled circle from the Giant Party Balloon. So here I foiled it directly onto a background panel, and I will cut just the center out. But you can foil it and cut it out on both sides, so both the inside and the outside, and have a foiled frame for your balloon. So there are inner and outer circle dies that go with this glimmer plate to help make those fun party balloons. Now, those actually just make a circle, but if you add a little string, it'll turn that circle into a balloon. So I'm also foiling the balloon string. Now, there are two sizes, and I would say two kinds of string. There is one string in the Giant Party Balloon set and also one string in the Balloon Bouquet set. One is a little longer and one is a little shorter, and I think that they are wonderfully interchangeable. So here's my foiled balloon. You can now tell that it is a balloon, right? And like I said, there are coordinating dies to cut it out. An inner die and then an outer circle die. So you have options with these, of course. Now here, for example, I did the balloon shaker. It is missing a string, but otherwise it is a balloon. And I foiled everything in matte gold foil, and I just added a pretty pink ink blended background to back my balloon. I added some sequins and I called it done. Okay, so as I add the string, you can see what it looks like. Isn't that cute? I just think it's adorable. Oh, and I had a little glitter heart die cut there as well. Okay, I used the inner die to cut the inside of the balloon out, and here's what this looks like. I'm going to add the foiled acetate panel and add that bow. Now, I want to turn this into a window card, meaning you'll be able to see to the inside of the card from the outside. I used to love doing those, window cards, but I kind of forgot about them and have not made window cards in a long time. Now, I have a card base. This is an A2, and it is a top folding card made from the same color cardstock. And I'm going to align the front panel on the card base. I'm going to pop the inner die inside, pop it back into my panel, and use a pencil to trace the inner die outline. Now, this will tell me where I need to position the die once I remove the front panel, because I don't want to cut through both. I can absolutely, and this die will cut through two panels of cardstock, but it will squish the cardstock, and I don't want that. So I'm going to cut everything separately. It will make a little harder to align things, but I don't mind because it will look cleaner in the end. Now there's a trick to cutting this and making sure that your paper is going to look nice on both sides, although we don't really care how this is going to look on the front because the front will be covered with another panel. But just in case we do, there's a trick so that we don't have to have those ugly cut marks. And the trick is super simple. Just place the card base between a folded sheet of printer paper. So open up your card base and place the front part between a folded sheet of printer paper. So easy. The printer paper will take all of the beading and your cardstock will end up looking much nicer even if your cutting plates are pretty worn. You can tell that mine are quite worn, and regardless, here's the result. I have a window cut in the front of my card base and the cardstock looks fine. I don't have a bunch of ugly cut marks on the paper. Okay, next I thought about different ways that I can decorate my card. And there are many ways to go about it. Now, I came across the mailbox die from last year in my stash, and I remembered how much I loved the flowers that were included in this set. So this is the Parcel and Post mailbox die, and it comes with these pretty flowers. I've not used those at all yet. I did use the mailbox die last year. I had several cards made with this adorable die, but I never used the flowers, and I just love this flower shape. So I decorated a bunch of flowers and leaves, and my intention was to decorate the inside of the card so that these flowers would be visible from the outside. As it turns out, I was actually missing one layer from these flowers. I don't really know where it went, so I assembled my flowers without that layer. Having that would have made those flowers look a little bit better, but I still think they, look super cute in the end. And the flowers are not hard to assemble. I just cut the layers from different shades of cardstock. I did the Hero Arts Peony and the Spellbinders Fruit Punch for the pink flowers, and then the saffron and beeswax for the yellow flowers, and also gold glitter cardstock and waterfall for the teal flowers. The leaves were cut using Peridot and Rainforest, and all of these are from Spellbinders. The only paper that isn't from Spellbinders is the gold glitter paper, and that one is from Simon Says Stamp. Now I just sentiment to the inside of my card, so I did that before I added my flowers. Now this sentiment comes from my latest collection with Spellbinders, and this is the Inside Card Glimmer Sentiments from the Anemone Blooms collection, and it is exactly that. It's a set of sentiments for the inside of your birthday card. You have some nice sentiments, heartwarming, you have some snarky sentiments, you have some cool sentiments, so you have a good mix in there. I used a T-square ruler here to position and align the sentiment on the inside of the panel, and I taped it in place using yellow tape. I then added the same white foil and I foiled it. And ta-da! Love how it looks. I overall love the look of white foil on this color cardstock. Now, meanwhile, I have already adhered the foiled sentiment to the back of my front panel, so the foiled sheet is going to be sandwiched between my front panel and the card base. Now, this card is actually going to be pretty flat, especially compared to all of the other cards that I typically make where I have loads of dimension, and this is actually pretty unusual for me to have a card that is this flat. With the front panel adhered, I didn't do a very good job aligning it. It usually is easier to align everything when liquid glue is used, but here I used double-sided tape as I had acetate, and the front panel was off by just a hair, so I trimmed that using my paper trimmer. I was trying to make several small cuts instead of making one long cut to make sure I would be able to cut through 2 layers of cardstock. Next, I started to add flowers to the inside of my card. Now, it took some planning and it took some time, but I started with the large flowers and then I worked my way through the open space, filling it in until I had the entire area above the sentiment filled with flowers. I also added a flower to the outside of my card, and I added a few gold glitter dots to dress this card up. And here's what it looks like when you open it. I just love that pop of flowers on the inside. Now here's another card, very similar to the first one, but this is actually a faux window card. So when you open it, there's nothing on the inside. so you have lots of room for a personalized message. And the flowers are actually sandwiched between the front panel and the card base. The last card I have for you today with these products is a shaker. It was very easy to do. I ink blended some ink. This was the Seafoam ink from Simon Says Stamp. I ink blended that onto the Spellbinders Glacier cardstock. I made sure to ink blend about half of the balloon area, and then I added Spellbinders sequins in Aura and Teal to create a little mix for my balloon, and then I just added the foiled panel and sentiment on top and decorated this card with flowers. So that is it from me for today. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.